Hey guys, this is Josh from Midnight Auto Repair coming back to you. So we're working on the 83S10 again today, and we are actually going to throw a cover on the seat. Now this isn't the traditional seat cover that we're doing where you go to CAT scan or someone, or at least get the factory OEM slip over. We're gonna get a little creative because budget truck, and in the end I promise it'll look good. We're kind of going to both go down this road together, but I want to show you what I got going on. So stay tuned. I'll be right back with you. Alright guys, so as you can see, our 83S10 is looking just a little different here. So we have decided to upgrade to the 91 to 93 front grille on this. And I have a really cool bow tie emblem idea that I'm going to follow through on. And I actually have just the right people to help me on that. But till then, also, note on these is you got to switch out the core support to do it. But here we are inside here. As you can see, I've been starting to get the wiring set up, and hopefully by the next time I show you guys on video, we will be starting this thing and at least hearing it run for the first time. But I've got to wait for radiator fan shroud, which on these actually holds the little cushiony mounts for the radiator. Speaking of radiator, it looks like I blew the budget, but I didn't. Trust me. This guy here, 139 bucks on Amazon. And I mean, I wouldn't say it's mirrored polished, but it's shiny enough for what we got going on here. Yep. And solid enough to accidentally get bumped over once or twice. Different story for a different day. The other thing I've been want to bring you guys in on is I don't think I've shown you the updated dashboard yet. So I went through, patched the hole where the stick shift came out of, and a couple other small ones along the way. I will say plyo grip, panel 90, wonderful stuff, because it really does help. And even in here, the kick panel that had a hole rotten in it, now looks a heck of a lot better. And I know I should have gotten a new floor mat, but budget, and it's good enough for the girls we go with. But this is the piece de resistance. So this dashboard was brown originally, and now it's black. And that is Duplicolor's stainless steel finish rattle can paint. And I'll tell you what, I'm not ashamed to show that off. I even went through, I got the proper needle paint, tipped the needles, and that gauge will come back once I put power to this thing. And I even decided to go old school on the boom booms there. But I mean, just really basic, clean. A couple nice boom booms back there too. Door panels are coming up next, but I'm trying to fit it in for our shifter. And we have the our nice little Hearst Chromatic 2 that I picked up down in North Carolina. Now I picked up just the assembly, and the ball I decided to add, and since we can really tell how grown up I am, it's got to be the black 8 ball because, well, I'm an 80s child, so that's the thing. But you will see what I end up doing with this. I'm going to make a nice little console for that to go in. I think it'll look pretty sharp. But our mission for this evening is taking this seat here and actually making it look like a seat again, actually covered and looking kind of proper. So What we did with this one actually is, this is a cut and shut job. These are two separate portions of the seats, because when I picked up the one from North Carolina, the driver's side was all beat out of it, and it looked even worse than the driver's side back here. Like, it was just concave. It was so worn out, and it had broken glass and all kinds of other stuff from the wrecking yard. And then, wait, no, that side's the one from North Carolina. This side over here is the one out of the original seat, because mice had eaten a pretty good chunk into the other one, to the point where I just split them both down the middle, Zeused them together with some Super 77 3M adhesive. So this is two separate seats now that have become one, and I think it'll look good. But we're gonna go through. I've got a box of hog rings here. I got hog ring pliers, and we're gonna learn some things, mostly together. Some things you may hear me cuss and swear at, but I promise I will be family friendly. So stay tuned. We're gonna start in on this. All right, guys. So what are we doing here? I have 2 yards of the finest clearance sale black fabric I could get at Hobby Lobby. So, yet again, I think I spent 14 bucks on the fabric, but to get what I'm looking for out of it, I think this will do just fine. As you see, once we hog ring it down, this thing's actually gonna look, I think, pretty sharp, especially if I can get the tension good and proper. Even without the seat cover I'm gonna throw over it, I think that this will turn out all right. But the important thing is setting your initial tension. So what we got here is I'm going to roll it over. I don't care if it's a little dirty. It'll be just fine. I can always wipe it off. But getting the right sizing back here on the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to just slide and adjust everything to the point where I can pull it over about like so. Now on the back here, I've got to make sure that I have enough space to pull it down and around. But I wanted to kind of show you guys what we're up against here, what the general idea is. So we're going to take this here, and we can just take our little hog ring pliers that you'll see here. I already got one hog ring in there, and we are going to just crimp it through. There. We have now started our edge here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another hog ring in it over here just to hold everything together. Give us our initial tension. And if you get these on Amazon, I mean, you can get them locally. Avico makes them too. But they will make your life easier, especially the spring-loaded ones, because they'll hold the hog ring in there while you clamp and fold it over. So I'm going to set you guys on fast forward, and I'm going to start getting this thing hog ring together. Stay tuned. you stayed with me for that little time warp deal. You got to see me take it, fold it over, and it's just kind of about getting it neat enough. I'm putting another seat cover over this. I just needed something to retain the fabric, or retain the foam. So I've come around both ends and the side here, and I'd like to think that this is actually looking pretty darn good, considering I've got a blistering $14 in the seat material itself. Two junk seats that I managed to put together and make one. And then I think $10 in hog rings and $8 for a hog ring pliers. So now on the back side of this, the original actually had a plastic lock. So I'm gonna have to grab the drill. I'm gonna have to drill a few holes that way I can hog ring the back side down. But I want you guys to kind of see that this thing's really taking a very nice shape. This material, it's not automotive. It's kind of like if somebody were making like work pants or something like that. It's just a heavy gauge nylon fabric. And maybe a little cotton, I'm not sure. It's whatever, it was clearance. The whole idea about this is, you know how much they really want for a pair of real seat covers for this thing? Like the actual fabric that you have to hog ring on. They want like 400 bucks for a set of seat material. Not just like the Durafit seat covers or anything like that. Those are 130 bucks, but I looked into that and I thought about maybe doing something like that and making it semi-permanent on like the seat. But then I kind of saw the fit and I'm like, well, you know, I mean, the fit's okay, it was a little loose, but it didn't look like anything I could really draw in and make look like it belonged there. Whereas I think this, if I keep on this path, it will look like it belongs. So, you guys, stay tuned. I'm going to grab the drill and a drill bit, and I'm going to put a few holes kind of on the back end here. I don't know if you can see, but this lip right here doesn't have any holes because it was designed to have like a plastic lock, and then this seat kind of just tensioned over like that. Whereas how we're doing is I gotta grab it from the back and kind of clamp it in, and that can clean up a little bit of excess fabric, make sure I get all my little holes punched and set up back in here for mounting it back to the seat itself. Yeah, that thing. No, just mounting it back to the seat tracks, and then we're gonna try to get the other half of the seat together. I may take some of that leftover fabric and just inlay it in on that. And like I said, we're not going for perfect. This ain't West Coast Customs. This is, the interior was pretty beat. I'm trying to do as good a job as I can within a budget, and you guys should do the same. I mean, hey, if you got the budget, great. I fully support, you know, getting all the new parts you want, but this is one of those things where I'm really trying to see what I could do with a little bit of resourcefulness. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention too is you actually have to be careful of this little hook right here. This little hook right here is designed to allow the wire that goes between the seat adjustment to actually have a place to go, so you can't really bind over that. Side note. But other than that, I'm gonna go find a drill, I'm gonna find a drill bit, and we're gonna put probably, I don't know, a dozen holes back there and make it so I can actually hog ring the back side of this too. And then we'll probably just put a couple little X's in there and adhesive the corners of that seat down. That way at least there are holes for the seat belts to come up through. But I think so far, in all reality, we're looking pretty good here. You know, especially for what we got into material on it. I think it looks great, so stay tuned. Hopefully you're learning something, because I am. All right, guys. So here we are. One covered seat. And the big thing is this really wasn't too terribly difficult. It was a little time consuming. But I mean, time versus money, what's really worth it to you, you know? Sorry. But, no, I mean, like I said, it's not perfect, but it's also not really meant to be. It's good enough that when I put the cover over it, it adds a filler layer in between the seat cover and the seat, and it kind of just gives me a final shape. So I think that will work pretty good. I just kind of wanted to bring you guys in on it. Let me get up a little bit here, that way you can kind of get a whole overview of it. Oh, sitting down too long. Anyhow, I would say that looked pretty good. I'm going to trim off some of the excess material on the bottom, and I'm going to start reassembling this thing. But guys, I think I'm going to call it a night because it is about 11 o'clock and I've got to work in the morning. So guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. I hope that I've done good enough that you're willing to like and subscribe, maybe even share if this is something you're interested in. And I hope you guys have a good night. See you next week.